Okay, example 2b, some more of our other radical equations. Keep in mind that first step, I need to get the radical part by itself, which in this case is this x plus 1 to the 2/3 power. Okay, I have two examples that I'm going to do here similar to those last two. So over here first, 3 times x plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 12. I need to start off by getting rid of this 3. So divide each side by 3. We get x plus 1 to the 2/3 equals 4. Now to get rid of this 2/3 power that's here, we take each side to the reciprocal power, 3 over 2. 3 over 2. Okay, and we actually have a pretty similar situation, pretty similar problem to what we did with our last problem here. But these exponents cancel each other out, giving me x plus 1 equals 4 to the 3/2 power. Now again, I am taking the 3/2 power to each side. So that really means I'm taking the square root of 4 cubed. And we put that square root in our problem. So this is plus or minus 2 to the 3rd power, just plus or minus 8. So I really have x plus 1 equals plus or minus 8. Subtract 1 from each side. If this was positive 8 minus 1, we get 7. If this was negative 8 minus 1, we get negative 9. And those are my two solutions, which again, if you plug them in, you can check your answer that way. And I'll skip that for this problem. But our next one over here, 3 times the 5th root of x plus 1 cubed plus 1 equals 25. Well, let's start off getting this radical part by itself. Okay. Now, if this was the part I'm trying to get by itself, first thing I'd have to do is get rid of this 1. Subtract 1 from each side. I get 3 times the 5th root of x plus 1 cubed equals 24. And then divide both sides by 3. To get 5th root of x plus 1 cubed equals 8. Now from here, we could do our problem two different ways. I usually like to change this back to exponential form. So the 5th root of something cubed is x plus 1 to the 3/5 power. Okay, now this usually works a little bit nicer because then I can use that reciprocal power to the 5/3 power. And depending on the number that's over here, using the reciprocal power instead of taking this to the 5th and then cube rooting, using that reciprocal power will make this side a little easier to evaluate. So we get x plus 1 over here equals the cube root of 8 to the 5th. Now, since this is cube root, the cube root of 8 is just 2. I don't have to worry about the plus or minus thing because it was an odd root. 2 to the 5th power is 32. Subtract 1 from each side, we get x equals 31. And again, we could check our answer, plug 31 back into our equation and make sure it works.